Hello and welcome to the Statesmanship Project, Episode 18 today. In this episode I want to discuss the 4 levels of competence. So there are 4 levels of competence with any skill that you can develop. The first level is unconsciously incompetent. You don't know what you don't know. So if you've never performed a squat before or a deadlift, you don't know that you don't know how to do it until you try to do it. And then that brings you into the second level of consciousness, of conscious competence, which is conscious incompetence. So you know something, like an exercise like deadlift, but you don't know how to do it. But you know that you don't know how to do it. It's a lot of following on that one. You know you don't know how to do it. So you are consciously incompetent. And then the next stage, as you train and progress and learn the form, is that you become consciously competent. So you have to think about the movement every time you do it. And then as you progress, as you get better, and then if you were to get to the elite level, the powerlifter stepping on stage to set a world record doesn't have to think about his form. He has done it so many times that he becomes unconsciously competent. And that is our goal with all skills that we want to perfect. We want to be unconsciously competent, so we don't have to think about what we're doing. We can just react to it. The same is true with self-defense, any type of contact sport, well, pretty much any type of sport really. You don't want to have to think about what you're about to do before you do it. You want to just be able to go out and do it. Because in a stressful situation, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall to your training. And the more proficient and effective your training is at whatever you're doing, the higher level of stress you can endure and perform. So this is particularly important in issues of like self-defense training. You want to be unconsciously competent, because in a life or death situation, the chances of you being fully conscious and cognizant of what you're doing, such that you can think about it and react to it in a fast enough way, is slim. So you want to have your training to the point where you don't have to think about it. You know exactly what to do. Your body knows exactly what to do. And the same is true with training. The idea that you're going to be able to compete at an elite level is possible. The idea that you'll be able to do it quickly is not possible. It should take you about 3 years of dedicated training to reach the peak of your ability. Now, if your training varies and alters and sways, or your goals are not elite level performance, then it doesn't matter. You want to continue to train to get better. But if in 3 years of dedicated high level training you are not at the peak of world competition, you're never going to get there. However, if after 3 years of applicable high-level training, you should be at the best of your ability, whether that's elite world level or not. And there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe you're just not meant to be a competitive powerlifter. Nothing wrong with that. Or a competitive Olympic lifter. Nothing wrong with that. But I'll bet in 3 years of dedicating yourself to training this way, you have learned a lot of skills. And the ability to go through this consciousness hierarchy to where you're unconsciously incompetent, consciously incompetent, consciously competent, and then unconsciously competent is a skill that can be applied to everything you do in your life. Whether that's specifically training, self-defense, any athletic endeavor, certainly, but also other aspects of your life, your professional career. Let's say you want to be an architect and you don't know anything about drawing buildings, so then you realize that you don't know how to draw a blueprint, and then you study blueprint drawing, and then you go through the steps to draw blueprints, and you get better and better and better, and then when you're a professional, you can just draw the blueprint. You don't have to worry about thinking about, okay, I got to do this, and then I got to do that, and then I need this tool, and then I got to... It just comes to you. You just do it. Boom, 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 boom. It's that way with all things in your life. the more you do them, the higher your level of consciousness towards them becomes. And so the same can be true with faith. If you're like me and you grow up in a world where God is a fun idea and not a reality, you're unconsciously incompetent. And then you become aware of the idea that God is real, or the fact, not the idea. And then, you're consciously incompetent. Then you start to learn about God. I would say I'm consciously competent at this point. I'm not to the point where I am so affluent in the knowledge that I can think about it or know it without having to do research first or anything. But that's my goal, is to get there. So, and that's such a complex topic that it will take a long time to develop that level. But I digress. We want to understand this approach when approaching any endeavor that we undertake, but specifically in this case, it is strength training that we're relating this to. And this is where something like easy strength is useful, because we build up that conscious competence every time we're here, just going through the motions, going through the training, going through the movements every day, and we're building up that conscious level of competence, so that eventually, after consistent training, we can start skimming the surface of unconscious competence, to where the muscles just fire and you don't have to consciously think about it, and you just have to focus on the exertion, not even that, and then the movement just happens. You just have to do it and show up. With that being said, I think that's all I have on the topic at the moment. So if you have any thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And until next time, have a good day.